everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, welcome to another brand new video. This is your latest transfer news exclusive in the last few hours as of recording this. Obviously you're seeing this in the morning, leading into the confirmation at some point. Birmingham City should be having a brand new signing at some point, and this is exclusively revealed last night by Ben Jacobs exclusively. Demarai Gray will undergo his medical at Birmingham City ahead of a return to the club after agreeing terms. Part 1 last night, which was when the tweet was revealed, and the completion expected tomorrow. He'll leave al-ettifaq on a free transfer. They retain a sell-on of 20%. So, Demarai Gray going back to Birmingham, going back to his home club, you know, where he started, where he's from, because he's from Birmingham. And this is obviously going to be a very interesting one. This is going to be a very interesting transfer to see how it plays out. Obviously, Birmingham City promoted back to the Championship after 1 year, after blitzing League One and blitzing the League One title. I mean, Chris Davies has done a wonderful job at Birmingham with the one season in League One. They obviously, we know that sometimes when you come down from the Championship, it's obviously very, very tough to get straight back into the Championship at times. Not all the time, but sometimes it can be tough. And you may need a season or two, potentially even more, depending how screwed your club situation is. So I think it's very, very interesting to see Birmingham's season. And I think that Birmingham just I was interested to see how it was going to go. But Birmingham City blitz League One, and they're back in the Championship, where I think they belong minimum on paper. So Birmingham, with the investment, I mean, to be fair, with the investment they've got behind the scenes at the football club, we knew they were going to probably tear that league apart regardless. So, you know, and they did have a few scares here and there, a few dodgy results, but overall, just absolutely world class. Now, they're definitely proving their worth back in the Championship, and I don't think the Championship's the end goal for Birmingham. I think the end goal for the new investment at Birmingham is to get back to the Premier League and get back amongst the elites. You know, back in the days when Birmingham won the Carling Cup, still got relegated, and were in Europe. You know, back in the days when, you know, you had some wonderful players back in the day at Birmingham, and I think they want to get back to those times again. And you never know, Birmingham for me, and I'll be completely honest about Birmingham before we get into a bit more about the Demarai Gray signing. I think that Birmingham, in my opinion, is, and I thought I'd pick a blue football shirt, by the way, to rock the video today. Because, you know, Birmingham's blue, rocking the Wakefield shirt, go support your local clubs, go and support your non-league clubs. But Birmingham, for me, is one of the big... And again, Wakefield's a good choice, because Birmingham is one of those big cities in this country that needs to be, you know, around Europe and Premier League football consistently. Wakefield, obviously, that's one of the other reasons why I rep the shirt today, because Wakefield are the biggest city in the country. We are a professional football club, so they're in non-league football. Birmingham's one of the big cities in this country that need European football long term. You know, I would like to see how Birmingham City would do in the Europa League or the Europa Conference League, and who knows, maybe one day the Champions League with the right investment. So it'd be interesting to see what would happen with that. But I think that taking that step from Championship to Premier League is obviously the next big step that they need to take, and of course they'll spend what they need to try and get into the Premier League. I've got no reason to believe that Chris Davies wouldn't be the man to take them up. And it'd be interesting to see how the rest of their business goes, both ins and outs. And of course, one of these ins is Demarai Gray. And again, I'll repeat it a second time, exclusively from Ben Jacobs last night. Undergoes his Birmingham City, obviously recording it as of the night itself, but obviously you're watching it as in last night. Demarai Gray will undergo his Birmingham City medical ahead of the return to the club after agreeing terms. Part 1 done on the day, and the completion is expected as you're watching this today. The completion is expected as you're watching this. And he leaves the Saudi Pro League club al-ettifaq on a free transfer, but they retain a 20% sell-on. That is good business by al-ettifaq. That is a really good piece of business. The fact they're letting go with someone on a free, but still remain 20% of the transfer. That's a pretty good one. So so basically what that means is, for those who don't know, is that when they sell him on, if they sell him on for money, 20% of it goes to al-ettifaq. So that is pretty smart business by the Saudi club. So what are Birmingham City getting from their home city boy? What are they going to get from their home club boy, Demarai Gray? They're going to get someone with explosive pace on the wing. They're going to get a more experienced Demarai Gray. They're going to get someone who's been around the block. He's been to Leicester, he's been to Saudi, he's been in different environments, so he understands different environments as a football player. Has an explosive pace on his day. You know, perfect for the winger position in a 4-3-3 under Chris Davis. You know, get him on the flank, get him exploiting the space down the channels, and he can whip a mean cross as well. He can whip a good cross. So overall, I think he is a good player. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. And I think he would suit Birmingham brilliantly. I think with the people that Birmingham have been rumoured with in terms of other transfers, I think Birmingham could be in for a very successful season this year. I'm not going to say that Birmingham are, you know, favourites to go back-to-back and go straight up to the Prem, but I do think there could be a potential dark horse for that top 10. So I think this could be very interesting to see what happens for the rest of the window. But with Gray, what they're getting is an explosive winger, elite pace at times, you know, very good experience. They're getting someone who can cut inside, drift into the half spaces, whip a mean cross, you know, strike a good strike. And for me, I think he's a more well-rounded player than he was previously when he was this young kid, you know, one of the biggest wonder kids in the country at the time, and, you know, was getting scouted by the Prem and other leagues, and, you know, Leicester ended up getting him. And to be fair, I was really happy for Demarai Gray as a 15-year-old kid. I really wanted him to do well. I really wanted, you know, that Leicester spell to do him some good. And in times it did do him some good. I think that Demarai Gray has some good moments at Leicester. But overall, it just fizzled out, and then obviously had his other moves. So, you know, Saudi, I mean, everyone looks at GA nowadays, so we'll look at GA. I think he scored, what, five goals, I think it is, in like 50-odd appearances for al-ettifaq in total. So, goal scoring contribution-wise, it's not the greatest. Let's be perfectly honest, it's not the greatest. However, it all depends on the right system at the right time, and in terms of the right style of player. You could put Demarai Gray in a certain type of system and it works. And you could say the same for other players. You could put another player in a different system and it doesn't work. Is it the right move at the right time? It all depends on the system as well. And I think that Gray under Chris Davis could actually be the right system. So I think there's times, and I could be lying here, I don't think, looking back on his time at al-ettifaq, I don't think there was times where the system suited Demarai Gray, or the style of play at times didn't suit Demarai Gray over in Saudi. So I would say that Birmingham suits him better, not just because he's from there, etc., but also I think that the way Birmingham play, you know, they can be quite patient on the ball at times, but they are dangerous when they spring those quick counter-attacks at times, Birmingham. We know how dangerous they can be on the pace. We know how dangerous they can be going down them flanks, you know, using the flanks, cutting into the centre, using the centre to their advantage as well at times. But again, it's all about being purposeful with the ball, translate the high pressing into vertical attacks as well. I think the style of play will suit Demarai Gray with his experience. So, for me, I think Demarai Gray is a good signing to bring back to Birmingham City, especially back in the Championship. He'll get a wonderful reception. I've got no doubt at all. If I've got any hope for Birmingham fans, is that they will give him a fantastic reception going into the season. So, I think this could be very interesting. I would keep a really close eye on this one. Like I said, it seems like the latest is that today, as you're watching this, part 2 of this medical will be completed. And, you know, if that's the case, then maybe in the next week or two, potentially, you could see within this next week or two an announcement announcing the player, just depending if nothing goes wrong with part 2 of the medical, which I don't think it should do. I think how it is, I don't think it's a here we go, but I think at this stage it's we're nearly there. I think we're nearly there. So I would keep your eyes peeled on this one. I think that it's looking like it's going to get close to being done rather than later. So I think this is a good signing. I think it's a good signing for many reasons. I think he fits the system that Birmingham play. I think his experience will bring a lot to the squad, with Premier League and Championship experience over in Saudi. And I think he offers an elite mentality that you learn over in Saudi, you learn in the Prem, and you need to learn in the Prem, you know. To be frank with it, you need to learn that elite mentality in the Prem and the Saudi. You need to want to win trophies and want promotions and things like that. So for me, I think that, you know, things like that will be taken mentally into account with this transfer. And I do think Demarai Gray is a good signing for Birmingham. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I hope you like the Wakefield shirt. Go and support Wakefield AFC by getting some of their merchandise. If you check out the website, it'll be on there. And yeah, make sure you do check out the rest of the videos when they come out. Not just on your Rovers, but from the whole Football League. And I will see you later. Ta-ra for now.